Good evening. It's 7:30 p.m. on a Thursday, not the typical time that the Baltimore City Delegation meets and convenes, but we did have to bring together a special meeting today to ensure that we hear a bill so that it can be properly considered before tomorrow's alcohol bill day that will be conducted in the Economic Matters Committee in the House. Good evening. My name is Delegate Stephanie Smith, Chair of the Baltimore City Delegation, bringing this meeting to order. At this time, I want to note for the record that we will, in our subsequent full meeting, include the transmission of today's activities and our updated minutes reflecting last week's hearing and, of course, the activities that are conducted today. At this time, we will be hearing a bill, and I do not have the bill number in front of me. Delegate Ampry, what's the bill number?
1288.
Okay, we'll be hearing House Bill 1288. Delegate Ampry, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, fellow members of the Baltimore City House Delegation. As representative of District 40, it has come to our attention that it's really important that we work towards ending some of the violence that is taking hold in our district and throughout our city. So we have put together House Bill 1288, which is a necessary measure to be more proactive in the fight against gun violence. And what the bill will do is it will prohibit liquor license holders in areas of the West North Avenue corridor from operating before a certain time, which would be before 10 a.m. And it also will require those stores to close at 10 p.m. The parameters are detailed in the bill as to where those locations will be. The science and data, drives everything that we do, and good to know that the data is, and Baltimore City's data is backing this. That it shows that the crime that is taking place, the hottest time period is actually between 10 p.m. and midnight, and a lot of these liquor stores are open until 2 a.m. So the goal of this bill is to reduce some of that violence. And if you look at some of the maps that we've included, you'll see that there are there are areas in which the hotspots of shootings and deaths and murders are taking place are in close proximities to these liquor stores. And it's not just about local data. We know that nationally, this is an accepted proactive measure to combat crime. We feel as though it is necessary, and we've had support from the non-community associations within the Southwest Baltimore that are supporting it, amongst other important organizations throughout the district. In addition to restricting the liquor store hours, this bill will also authorize Class C licenses for 2 establishments in the district, Current Space and Kappa Alpha Psi Youth and Community Center, to permit them to sell alcohol to their members during special events. In order to do this, we've also asked that the community have a stake in this, and we're not only giving it to those who have financial interest, but also those who have a track record of providing much needed community services to residents in need, which both these organizations have done, and the community is in support of those, in support of the organizations having these licenses. So I ask that this bill be given a support. As a member of Baltimore City Delegation, we have no choice but to take every action we can to reduce gun violence in our city. Every second of every minute that we delay can mean that we lose another life to preventable acts of violence. We urge unanimous vote in favor of HB 1288.
Thank you so much, Delegate Ampry. Are there any questions for the delegate? Delegate Boyce.
Thank you so much. I'm very hungry, and I hate to have a question, but I do have a question.
That's okay.
So I understand, I know the kind of rules in Baltimore City per having new licenses. And so these 2 Class C licenses are 2 new licenses for 2 new establishments?
So when you say new establishments, you mean like new in that they'll be the first time that they'll have it, or that they're these aren't brand new establishments? No, these establishments have been in place.
Okay, so these aren't new facilities or a new business per se.
Correct. No, these are not brand new.
Old businesses getting licenses.
Class C licenses.
Prohibited. If Mr. Clippinger can say yes or no, I think that's usually prohibited. We don't usually issue licenses to. Go ahead.
Yes, Delegate.
A Class C license is a license that's used at a club,
right,
which is distinguished from a bar or a restaurant. It's a club, which usually means there is some kind of membership, because it only allows for the sale. I'm assuming, Delegate, that this is for beer and wine.
Correct.
it would only allow for the sale to the member of the club and a guest of the member at the place described in the license. So this is not a BD7, which is the 2 a.m. liquor license that we sometimes hear a lot about. That's a bigger deal when we create one. This is a C license.
Right. And both organizations, they're working to do things in the community that are supportive. So the usage of the license would be for various events where they might be raising money for things, or they might be hosting and celebrating and honoring people in the community. So it's not like this is a institutions where there's parties every Friday and Saturday night, right? So that's not the type of institutions these are.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much, Delegate.
No, thank you.
Delegate Keith Haynes. You're on mute, sir.
Okay. Is that better? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Delegate Ampry and I have been in conversation like right before this meeting because he brought to me an issue or some information that the bill has changed as opposed to how it was brought in or introduced. And it was amended in the Senate to include a couple of establishments in District 44A. The concern I have is not the substance of the bill, okay, because we've been doing, these type of bills, for a few years, because that's what the community needs and wants, and trying to curtail some of the violence. And I know we've done it a lot up in the Park Heights area on several occasions. The issue or concern that I have is timing. And I know that time is of the essence because Liquor Day is tomorrow, okay? But I spoke with, in light of Delegate Ampry bringing this to my attention, with the community association presidents for the community where those establishments are located. And no one has engaged them on this issue. And I also attend their meetings on a monthly basis and talk with them probably, at least once a week, sometimes twice. And this issue has never come up in their community association meetings. And I know that we've brought back a lot of resources to try to help rebuild that particular community, the one that I'm talking about. And so they have developed good relationships with the community, the hospital, and the businesses there, and trying to meet some of the needs of the communities. And so I'm sort of being told that they don't really know how relationships may be affected because there's been no process, and you're going to cut off some of the hours of operation that will affect these, businesses economically. It may be something that they want, but hasn't been a process, and so I'm not really hearing a lot of support from them to include the two establishments I think that's in the Board Booth area. And I'm a little uncomfortable going against the community and not even having spoken with the businesses as well. So, and I'm not trying to in any way, believe me, I think the bill is a good bill, but I'm not trying to deride, the good delegates legislative initiative. But, I'm just raising a concern, and I know we're up against the wall. And it's just actually what Delegate Ampry, you texted me about an hour ago or 30 minutes ago, that this thing is kind of moving fast. So I don't know how we deal with it. I mean, I have some idea, but I'm not sure how we deal with it.
Yeah, so I was under the thank you, Delegate Haynes, for bringing that forward, and I think the reason that that sliver of the 44A was brought in is because it just brings continuity to the area as to where the violence is happening. It made more sense, and my understanding is that the umbrella organization that oversees all of the community organizations within that region had agreed and pushed for this. So I'd have
But,
to
but
go ahead.
yeah, but I just want to clarify that Southwest Partnership does not cover all of those communities, and it does not cover the one community where those two establishments are located. And I used to represent that area, and I know the Southwest Partnership when it first started, so I know those boundaries. It doesn't cover it all, and so and there hasn't been any complaints filed with Doug Page. At the liquor board, they generally would get involved, with the community on some of these things. And like I said, I don't have a problem with the substance of the bill. I just have a little issue with the process of my constituents and the community raising concerns that they haven't been engaged in at all. And so I just, I have a little bit of problem with that. I mean, if it was strictly 40, then I mean, I give local courtesy, if that's district courtesy, if that's what people want to do in their district, that's fine. And as long as the community is for it. But I'm just saying that I'm getting a little bit of pushback from the leaders in that area that no one's spoken with them. They haven't raised it as an issue, and they have developed relationships with these establishments, not, in the commercial establishments as well, and trying to support the community in their initiatives over there.
No,
So
I understand. So
yeah.
And I haven't been as in much contact with the Southwest Partnership and the communities over there. Senator Hayes is on the call as well, and he
Yeah.
can maybe give some more detail on some of the communication that's been brought forward there and how what the community support is for legislation such as this.
Mhm.
You can hear me.
Delegate Haynes, are you about to respond? I didn't want to cut you off. I thought maybe you were.
Oh no, well, the only thing that I was gonna say is that, I mean, literally, I just spoke with the presidents right before we had this meeting. After I got off a conversation with Fidelga Amper, because the way we're talking, and they I mean, just literally 15 minutes ago said nope, they don't know anything about this bill. They don't even know anything about anyone having spoken to community leaders, which they are the leaders, and or raised an issue that the hours of operation is a problem for their community. And it's only this one community that's in my district that's, I'm talking about. And I know that area very well, and I know that area has a problem. But I'm just saying those two establishments in the community that I'm talking about is not under the umbrella of Southwest Partnership. So Southwest cannot speak for that particular community. And they're also telling me that they haven't had any conversations with anyone regarding curtailing the hours of those establishments. And they just mentioned, I know timing is a problem, but their community meeting is not until next Tuesday. So, I mean, they're expressing some real concern about being included in something that they haven't, been approached about or weighed in on. And honestly, have sort of indicated that it's not a problem in their particular community. So, I mean, it sort of puts me in a little bit of a jam, because it's been amended in on the Senate side to include those two areas in 44. And I'm not so sure, what we do.
Madam Chair, I didn't want to speak without being recognized. At the appropriate time, I could probably share some light.
Okay, sorry, just a moment. I just want to make sure we haven't missed any other questions from anyone, and then we can go back there. Yes, Delegate Clipping.
Oh,
Can I maybe get clarification from Senator Hayes or
Yes.
Delegate Amprey? Clarification. The bill, as I read it as it's introduced, is specific to the 40th legislative district. Am I right in saying you have an amendment that you want to add to fill in a gap? That's what we're talking about here ultimately?
Mhm.
If the bill moved unamended, it would stay within the 40th.
It would stay within the 40th, but there's
Yeah.
amendments from the 44th that's incorporated in the amendments, and we're more than glad
Okay.
to strike it.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure because I went and read the bill, I wanted to make sure I understood kind of where we were in the big picture. That's fine. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
No, thank you so much for that clarification. I think it probably helped a few folks.
Yep.
Delegate Haynes, your hand's still up, and Delegate Boyce, I know your hand is still up, but if you would like to
I'm trying to
continue.
I'm on this WebEx. I don't know how to work this thing. Okay, so down now.
It's down now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, fine. I just want to make sure that I'm following. Delegate Ampry, have you decided not to offer an amendment with this bill? Strike it?
At this point, I do understand the delegates, Delegate Haynes' point here, and I think it's important that we take the community input and especially but at the end of the day, I mean, saying that, the one thing that I want to make sure that that's moving the needle here is the data points, right? So part of it is not just with the community association, the community association needs to be involved, but the police and the data that we have here shows the violence that's in the area, right? So I think that has to be a driving point as to why we're doing it, what we're doing. So, but if we if we move the bill as is, it'll just include the 40th, and I think that would be fair given the time constraints.
Thank you, Delegate Ampry. Senator Hayes, did you have any clarification to provide?
Yes, and thank you, Madam Chair. Obviously, I didn't want to interrupt without you all's permission. Do you mind if I'm able to actually share my screen? Is that possible here?
Is this about moving the amendment or not? I just want to make sure.
I just wanted to bring clarity to what we're talking about, just so people could see what the amendment is. So the amendment can't be moved completely because the amendment embeds the part that's in question right now.
Right.
But right now, this is what we're talking about. So the amendment includes this area of the 40th in Carlton Ridge, but it also includes what's in question right now is a 4-block by 2-block radius, where in the last 2 years they've experienced, as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 non-fatal shootings, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 homicides, all with 3 liquor stores here. The issue here is there's 2 liquor stores that's here in the 40th, right across the street from 3 liquor stores that's in the 44th. For those of you who may not be familiar, the Tri-District is where 3 Baltimore City police districts all connect on one corner, the Southwest, the Western, as well as the Southern District. It is the deadliest part of the city of Baltimore, and so one of the things that we've been trying to do is identify that, and so that's why it came up. I did talk to Senator Sidnor, who was contacted by a lot of his community members who wanted to be included in the bill, and so we've been talking about it. He didn't have a bill introduced, and so he asked to piggyback on ours. He tried to reach out to Delegate Haynes and has been unsuccessful in doing so. Got a text message today from him saying, good luck in trying to reach out to him. But, the crux of the bill is really to, deal with the violence and crime in that area. But I am more than happy. It is not a deal breaker for us. Just knowing that there is going to be, the liquor stores right across the street from this area that will be closed during those hours, and the area right there with what you literally saw, which is in 2-block, 4-block radius, has a lot of violence going on in that area.
Thank you, Senator, for the context and the additional, information. I think in the interest of time, I just want to the decision needs to be made by the sponsor about how we proceed. I think we've had enough elaboration. How would you like to proceed? And then we need the appropriate, motions thereafter.
I think the Delegate Haynes is trying to speak, but we can't hear him.
Oh, Delegate Haynes, are you trying to be recognized?
Yes.
Yes, Delegate.
Yeah. Um, I'm not sure how, I can't really speak to efforts being made to try to reach me on this particular issue. Maybe it was during the time that I had a death in my family or something. I'm not sure, but um, the the I understand the issue, and believe me, I got the issue, and I understand the data, and I'm not knocking the substance of the bill. The only thing that I'm just simply saying that's giving me a little bit of pause was the process, in that the community presidents have just said that they have not. This is the first time they've heard of it, and they wanted to be heard to weigh in. And so I don't really know the posture of the bill. So has it already gone to the Senate side and Senator Hayes or Delegate
It
Ampry?
hasn't gone through the Senate side yet. No.
Okay.
Oh,
So
sorry,
I,
I
I
was
guess what
on.
I'm asking is this: is it possible for the bill to be amended? Well, amended in
Absolutely.
the
So here,
Senate?
I hear what you're saying, Delegate Haynes. What I would recommend that we pass the bill with all of the amendments except for those who reference the 44.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
that may resolve your issue about process.
well, what I'm getting at is this: is that they have their meeting on next Tuesday, and what I'm asking is whether or not do we have enough time for them to weigh this in on this, so they feel that they're a part of the process, and have it amended if that's what they want, amend the bill in the
Right.
Senate, is but at
Absolutely.
least give them
So,
time to have a
yeah.
presentation to them so they can weigh in on it. What I'm trying to say. I'm
Yeah.
not knocking the bill, and I'm not trying to kill the bill. I just got a process issue that just popped up. That's all.
Yeah, that's understandable, and
Yeah.
I think that's the best path forward to go ahead and go with the bill as is, as excluding the 44th, and we can include it within the Senate bill with the amendment after you had the opportunity to reach out to your community. And I totally
And I'll
understand.
reach out to
I agree with the
Senator Sidnor
process.
as well.
I agree with the process component, and I wish the time was more available for us to rewind. If we could rewind and do this a little differently, I wish we could have, but we can't. So we'll move forward with it just being the 40th, and then we can have time to meet with your community members, and we can get everybody on board. And at the end of the day, I think we'll ultimately have what we need to make the community more safe, because that's ultimately the goal here. So I think that's the best way forward.
Okay, and I'll reach out to Senator Sidnor as well, and we probably can, tomorrow, if I get them, get in contact with them tonight, we can probably do a quick Zoom meeting, either later tonight or early tomorrow morning before their regularly scheduled meeting on Tuesday. So they would have a heads up on what the issues are on Tuesday. I don't think I just know that it's a process issue. It's not a substantive issue, and I don't want to kill the legend. I don't want to be the person that
And I think I understand that, and I think that based on our conversation earlier, I think it makes perfect sense, and we were in agreement that the process could be handled better. So we'll go ahead and move forward with the bill as is, and that's what we'll go with tomorrow. And we'll have an opportunity to have it amended.
Well, I'm very pleased to see some progress among all parties impacted, but I would be remiss if I didn't provide an opportunity. Is there any additional testimony in support of this bill? Hearing none. Is there any testimony in opposition to this bill? Hearing none. Is there a motion to move this bill as it's currently constructed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Hearing none, roll call.
Delegate Ampry,
Yes.
Delegate Anderson, Delegate Attar,
Yes.
Delegate Boyce,
Yes.
Delegate Chanel Branch,
Yes.
Delegate Talmadge Branch, Delegate Bridges.
Yes.
Delegate Klippinger.
Yes.
Delegate Conaway. Delegate Haynes.
Yep. Yes.
Delegate Lewis.
No. I don't feel.
Sorry, yes.
Delegate Learman. Delegate McIntosh. Delegate Rosenberg.
Yes.
Delegate Wells.
Yes.
Chair Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Madam Chair,
Thank
I have
you.
a question. Did you guys just move just a straight bill with no amendments whatsoever?
Yes.
Okay. What about the amendments except for the 44th? We actually need them to have a real bill. There's like after today, there's no guarantee that I will, have any motivation to even include the 44th on the Senate side or the House side. I don't want to really slow it down. The amendments, what I was asking you guys, if you guys could pass the bill with all the amendments, striking the references to the 44th, and they could figure out a way to introduce another bill.
The sponsor didn't say that, though. The sponsor said to, you know what I mean? Like, we just went through all that. I feel bad, but.
Is it okay
Jeremy,
to
do you have any
pass the amendment
advice?
striking everything from the 44th?
I'm sorry, Senator.
Would it be out of order to, now that you guys have officially passed the bill, would it be appropriate to also adopt the amendment excluding any reference to the 44th?
First, Council, can you provide a response to that inquiry? And then Delegate Haynes, feel free to follow up.
Madam Chair.
Delegate Haynes, I just want to let Jeremy speak and then let you speak. I just want to answer.
Sure. We could have another motion to move the amendments and then to move the bill again as amended. I just want to point out that I don't believe that members have seen these amendments before this meeting. I haven't seen any of them. So I just wanted to say that we can, obviously, but I don't know that we're prepared to.
That's what I wanted to lift up, that the only thing I was aware of was the House bill. So, just to be fair, usually we try to provide those amendments through council to everyone so that they're what they're voting on.
You're right. So,
Yeah.
Yes, Delegate Haynes.
Yeah, Madam Chair, look, I don't want to cause a problem with my colleagues in over this bill.
I know you won't.
In any way, it's really a process issue, and I understand what Senator Hayes is now saying as far as other amendments and this whole thing. Let me see whether this is possible, and it's a little redundant, but whether you would entertain a motion that would undo what we just passed and pass the bill as amended with all the amendments. In the meantime, I'll get with Senator Sidnor and the members of the community, and if they want to be excluded, we can amend it on the Senate side to exclude the 44, so it won't bog the whole thing down.
Delegate Haynes, I appreciate you offering that, but as our council noted, we don't have these amendments before us. And as a matter of process, just as we were, careful around the conversation around process and community, and that's what we've been, sensitive to hearing that discourse through tonight's hearing. I think we simply have to have some fidelity to order amongst our own body to ensure that people know what they're actually voting on.
Okay, I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry, Madam
It's okay. It's all right. I know it's late. So it sounds like this hearing's over. Is there anything else that people need to say? Okay, I want you to be your best selves, be safe, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
But wait, do we have to have a motion to adjourn, Jeremy?
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, have a great night. Meeting adjourned.